RVBN, the Rich Video Blog Network, home to weekly NFL predictions, great personality profiles, great professional wrestling video blogs, great sports video blogs, great MBTA video blogs, great top 10 lists of everything and anything video blogs, and a whole lot more. Collection of my work goes back to June of 2014 on various social media websites. RVBN, the only video blog on the internet that matters. Time now is 7:29 in the evening, Berwick, Massachusetts. It's Tuesday, June 27th, 2017, 7:29 in the evening, and it's about 66 degrees after a couple of rounds of downpours and heavy rain. Some places got even hail. If this was 6 months later, we would talk about some heavy-duty snow squalls, but let's not think about that right now. We have 4th of July to think about next week. Some news to report on the RVBN Newswire. The New York Knicks are interested in bringing back Derrick Rose to the team next year. Resigning him, but in my humble opinion, Derrick Rose is all washed up, and I think that he probably not too many teams want him. He's a former league MVP, but he's never been the same since he injured his knee back in 2012. And Fire and Ice restaurant in Providence, Rhode Island closed down suddenly due to some problems with the air conditioning in the restaurant, and they needed major renovations to the air conditioner, and it would have took 3 to 6 months, and they didn't want to wait that long. It's so sad. I went to the Fire and Ice at Harvard Square in 2012. That's the last place I ate at in the Boston area when I regularly went down there, so it's just sad to see it go, but those things happen. That's about it on news from the RVBN Newswire. Back in a flash for my third and final video blog of the night, which will be about the top 10 best NBA rivalries. But first, hear this. Tomorrow on RVBN, only 2 video blogs for your entertainment. First video blog will be about the Forest Restaurant in Boston, also satellite locations in Quincy, in Norwalk, Massachusetts. And the second final video blog of the night will be about the top 10 NFL rivalry. Should be interesting. Thursday will be the top 10 of Major League Baseball rivalries. Then the top 10 list will be taking a hiatus for a little while, and the personality profiles will be back July 1st. And a great month of personality profiles coming. Time now 7:32 in the evening, Berwick, Massachusetts. I am back. My third and final video blog subject of the night is about the top 10 list of everything and anything. Tonight's top 10 list is the top 10 best NBA rivalries of all time. These rivalries are the best of the best of the best. And some legendary moments in the NBA history happened when these teams met. And here they are, number 10 on this list, the best NBA rivalries: the Houston Rockets versus the San Antonio Spurs. These are interstate rivalries. The Rockets and Spurs have been in the same division since 1976, when Spurs came to the NBA via the ABA, and they've been a heated rivalry. They met many times in the playoffs, including last season when the Spurs beat the Rockets in 6 games. And the rivalry was at its peak in the 1990s when the Clyde Drexler and Hakeem Olajuwon beat David Robinson in 1995, when the Spurs had the best record in the NBA. Number 9 on this list of the top 10 best rivalries in the NBA, the Celtics versus the Knicks. The Celtics and the Knicks had some classic battles in the NBA playoffs in the 1970s and 1980s. The Knicks eliminated the Celtics in 72 and 73. Some great Knicks teams with Dave DeBusschere and Willis Reed and Bill Bradley. The Celtics had Dave Cowens and John Havlicek. In the 80s, it got a little tougher. The classic 1984 NBA playoff series in the Eastern Conference semifinals between the Celtics and the Knicks was such a classic. Goes down in books, one of the best, most hated series of all time. Number 8 on this list of the top 10 best NBA rivalries of all time, the Knicks versus the Heat. It got real hot in the 1990s when Knicks coach Pat Riley fled the Big Apple to go to South Beach, and the Knicks and the Heat had some classic playoff battles in 1997, 1999, and 2000. It was at a fever pitch with the playoff series. The Heat won a couple of playoff series, while the Knicks won a few others. The Knicks knocked off the Heat in 1999 and to make a run at the NBA Finals as an 8th seed. You'll never see that again in NBA history. A number 8 seed making it to the NBA Finals. That was a shortened season. Number 7 on this list of the top 10 best NBA rivalries of all time, the Lakers versus the Clippers. This rivalry's been one-sided for many, many years, ever since the Clippers came to Los Angeles in 1984. Lakers dominated them, but the past several years the Clippers have had the better team, but the Clippers always choke. And surprisingly, the Lakers and Clippers have not played in the NBA playoff series. That would be awesome if they did, but it's highly unlikely because the Clippers are going downhill while the Lakers stock is going uphill right now. Number 6 on this list of the top 10 best NBA sports of all time, rivalries of all time, the Celtics against the Pistons. Especially this was fevered pitch in the 1980s when the Big Three faced off against the Pistons and a few times in the NBA playoffs. 1985, the Celtics beat the Pistons in 6 games, and the Pistons were developing the bad boys with Dennis Rodman and Isaiah Thomas and Bill Laimbeer and Rick Mahorn, among others. 1987, the Pistons almost beat the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals, but DJ stole the ball. Eventually, the Pistons just got hungrier, and the Big Three of Bird, McHale, and Parrish aged. And this was, an underrated rivalry in my humble opinion. Number 5 on this list of the top 10 best NBA rivalries of all time, the Lakers versus the Spurs. This rivalry's fever pitched in the 2000s when the Lakers had Kobe and Shaq facing off against Duncan, and Robinson had some of the great playoff series. Lakers won most of them, but the Spurs gave the Lakers all they got. Number 4 on the list of the top 10 best NBA rivalries of all time, the Celtics versus the 76ers. This rivalry dates back to the 1950s, when the 76ers were the Syracuse Nationals in 1963, when Syracuse Nationals moved to the Philly and recushioned the 76ers. It got hot. In 1965, the 76ers were almost going to end the Celtics title reign, but Havlicek stole the ball over to Sam Jones. Philly got its revenge in 1967 by eliminating the Celtics out of the playoffs. They had some great teams with Hal Greer and Wilt Chamberlain and Billy Cunningham. The rivalry kind of died down in the 70s because the Sixers stunk. It got back again in 1980 with Bird getting drafted by the Celtics and the 76ers having Dr. J. The 76ers beat the Celtics in 1980 Eastern Conference Finals. 1981, the 76ers had the Celtics on the ropes, but the Celtics came back from 3-1. 1982, the Celtics almost did again in the Eastern Conference Finals with the 76ers, but 76ers held off in Game 7, and the Boston fans said, beat LA to the 76ers. Celtics got revenge in 1985, and that was basically the peak of the Celtics 76ers feud, because by the late 1980s both teams were aging and both teams kind of dropped to the bottom of the league in the 1990s and the 2000s. It got revived a little bit. 2002, the Celtics beat the 76ers in 5 games, and again in 2012 the Celtics beat the 76ers in 7 games in playoffs, and it's probably going to be revived again in the near future. Number 3 on this list of the top 10 best NBA rivalries of all time, the Knicks versus the Pacers. This rivalry started back in 1993 when the Knicks eliminated the Pacers in 3 straight in the first round of the NBA playoffs. 1994, it got a fever pitched. The Pacers almost eliminated the Knicks from the playoffs, but the Knicks came back in Game 6, Game 7, and 1995 in the Eastern Conference semifinals. Reggie Miller scored 6 points in 18 seconds in a playoff game against the Knicks, and Reggie Miller gave some choking signs too. Spike Lee, a big Knicks fan, they made it again in 1999. Knicks got the better of them for the Eastern Conference Finals. In 2000, the Pacers eliminated the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals to go to the first NBA Finals. So this was a hot rivalry in the 1990s and early 2000s. Number 2 on this list of the best NBA rivalries ever, the Cleveland Cavaliers against the Golden State Warriors. LeBron James, Kevin Love, and Kyrie Irving against Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green and Kevin Durant. 3 straight NBA Finals was the Cavaliers against the Warriors, and it could be again in 2018. And this is the best NBA rivalry right now. But the number 1 best rivalry in NBA of all time, the Celtics versus the Lakers. It doesn't get any better than that. Celtics won 17 NBA championships. Lakers 16 NBA championships. They met in the finals 11 times, and the Celtics have beaten the Lakers in the NBA finals 8 times. That's amazing, with so many good players in the Celtics-Lakers rivalry. Cousy, Havlicek, Russell, Sam Jones, Casey Jones, John Havlicek, Don Nelson, Dave Cowens, Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish, Danny Ainge, Dennis Johnson, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce on the Lakers side, Elgin Baylor, and Jerry West, Wilt Chamberlain, Jamal Wilkes, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, James Worthy, Brian Scott, Kurt Rambis, Kobe Bryant, and Paul Gasol. I wouldn't be surprised within the next few years, the Celtics-Lakers rivalry will heat up again, and they're going to be in the NBA Finals again. It's going to happen sooner or later. And that's about it on that. Tomorrow, to a video blog for your entertainment. Before I go, I have my famous sign-off line for each and every video blog I do. Keep calm, everybody. I'm a Julie Button guy. Mention on Julie Button's Facebook chats. Once again, Julie Button is the woman. Woo! To beat a woman, you got to beat the woman. Kind of stealing Ric Flair's quotes. Molly Mosebell of WCCO Roxanne's nice legs. Elizabeth Hatzel, so stunning, she's the best. Amy Sweeze is awesome. Amy Linda Church with the BPIX channel of New York. Such rocking cougars. Get the best legs in New York City. Banan Bobby Gives of ABC 11 Sweet Southern accent. Best legs in Raleigh, North Carolina. Ren Claire of WHH channel 7 Boston's hot. She's got the best legs in Boston, and Alia Woolley of WABI Channel 5 in Bangor, Maine. Rocks has the best legs in Maine. Have a good night. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Google+. Bye now.